Welcome to episode 5 of Barrels Banter with Sarah from Sarah Miles Shooting and me, Celine from Wintercombe. In this episode, we have got a banging tale, a firing line debate, do pickers up get funny about having the same spot every week, our field notes and anecdotes, we're shooting it straight and myth busting about having a litter of puppies. Does it make a dog grow up? Then we have our confessions and questions. So let's start this week, and I have a banging tale, but I am not going to give you the name of the person because I have not asked her if I can share it.
Oh, come on.
We go up to Scotland every year and there are a series of goose butts that sit around this reservoir. It's absolutely stunning. And you go up quite early in the morning. So this year we ended up leaving about 4 o'clock in the morning because we weren't staying where we now stay on the moor. Those places hadn't been built. So we ended up having to leave where we were like Airbnb-ing.
Hang on, you left at 4 in the morning.
Right, I would just like to say I did leave at 4 o'clock in the morning and I went to bed. Everyone went to bed. We all went to bed quite early. We were like, let's all go to bed. And then I was quite ill because I can't eat gluten.
Oh, someone gave you gluten.
Yeah. And I in the bathroom made friends with each other until 3:45 in the morning.
I can't believe you were up at 4 a.m. You're not a morning
The alarm
person.
went off at 4 o'clock. Simon said, oh, you look like you're quite awake for 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, yes.
I haven't been to sleep.
Absolute miracle. I haven't been to sleep, Simon, because I have been shitting through the eye of a needle for the last 4 hours. However, that wasn't part of my story, but thank you for the reminder. So we left at about 4:30 in the morning and we drove this sort of hour or so to the moor. Then you get a little Argo cat. They have to walk up what we call Heart Attack Hill because it's absolutely horrific. Get to the top of the hill and you get placed out in these goose butts. By which point sun sort of starts to rise. You actually end up sitting there for quite a long time because the geese come off a few at a time and then there's like a big skein and so on. 60,000 geese on this.
Wow.
Oh, absolutely stunning. Anyway, get partway through and I'm absolutely busting for a wee. Like I was just, you know when you're like, you know me, I need to wee all the time. So I just sort of said to my husband, we've got 2 chairs in a goose butt that is wide enough for 2 people. Really sorry, I'm going to have a wee. So I'm now trying to like put a chair sort of on my lap while I'm trying to get underneath it and declothe to have a wee. Yes, because I don't want to get out of the goose butt.
Yeah.
If I get out the goose butt, all the geese are just going to fly off in different directions.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get the blame.
Yeah.
Weed in the goose butt. Next person, weed in the goose butt. And so it goes on. Well, we all leave about 9 o'clock in the morning. And this person, whose name I nearly said then, literally was like, I've got to go. Dashed off, jumped in the car and went down in the keeper's car back to where we start, called, funnily enough, the Goose Roost. I went to the loo and I was like, why didn't you just go to the loo in the goose butt?
Yeah.
She went, oh my God. You didn't? I was like, well, of course I did. She was like, well, I was in there with my husband. I was like, well, I was in there with my husband. But like, why wouldn't you? She said, well, what would you do if like a poo fell out? I was like, what?
Fell out?
Why would a poo fall out? She said, well, sometimes when you like squeeze really hard. I was like, it's actually not something that I have ever had an
She
issue
obviously
with.
has really
but do you
good
know what
pelvic
now?
floor.
Out of absolute paranoia, when I go to the goose butt, I take a dog poo bag just in case. Never happened, ever happened to me. But there's just something I can't
She
get
says
past
when you
it.
squeeze a wee out, I don't have to squeeze. I'm always so busting for a wee that I just go.
Yeah. So she dashed off. I was like, well, you like, imagine if you'd ended up missing the end because you couldn't just wee in the goose
It's
butt.
awkward, isn't it? Field sports and needing the loo and stuff. It's so easy for men. They just
I was
literally do a
out
little tinkle
today
in the hedge.
with a chap. He had a pair of actual chaps on, like waterproof chaps.
Yeah.
But his entire nether
Crotchless.
region, yeah, crotchless chaps.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so we could
sexy. So you could have just whapped it out and had a wee anywhere.
Flip his sausage out and away he goes.
Yeah, not so easy for us, is it?
No, it's not.
I had to do that. Excuse me, is anybody near me because I need a wee?
I did that at yours the other day to Mark. I knew he wasn't far from me, but I was like, can you see me? I just need to make sure. He's like, absolutely can't see you. Perfect. Literally just going to go here then.
I was like, is anybody coming up the hill? Someone goes, yes, I am. I'm coming towards you. I just need a wee. And literally I could see them coming through the trees. Did like the quickest 90-degree turn I've ever seen of someone.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So,
I know, it takes us longer.
men, think of us. Think of us and
The
our
worst is when it's wet and windy and horrible, and we basically have to get our whole bums out to go for a wee. It's really chilly.
You hold it in.
I pretty much hold mine all. It's not good though. I do hold it all day.
No, not for me.
Meanwhile, you've had 8 peas in the time.
Yeah. I'm quite quick though, so it's fine.
You are pretty good. We're now on to our firing line debate, and we are discussing pickers up in the field getting funny about always having their same picking up spot every time they go picking up.
It's a funny one. I don't know why you'd want the same spot. Surely it's
Get
boring.
bored. I'd get bored.
Yeah. Somebody said to me once, oh, well, I like this spot because my dog knows it.
Oh, good God, no.
I'm thinking, really?
Yeah, but birds fall in different places.
So what happens when the wind's in a different direction?
Yeah. No, I've always said it's really good to switch it up, because I used to go to a shoot and I was very much put in the same spot, not because I wanted to, but...
Yeah. But is that naturally because everybody else had their spots and you were the one filling in that gap?
But then what happens is, I remember one day one of the pickers up was off ill and they said, oh, could you go to George's spot? Change the name. You know where, and I'm thinking, no. What do you mean? Well, I've never been in there. I literally stand in this field. He goes through the wood, a couple of fields. I didn't even know how to get to this spot. Anyway, I go off in there. I was like, my God, there's a little pond in here. What, you didn't know? I'm thinking, well, no, I literally have never been beyond this field. And, you know, I didn't know which way the birds would normally come into there. It was just a whole different scenario. And I said, I think it's really good for everyone to try every spot.
And also if you're sweeping, which on ours, we will pick our area, if we ever want of a better term. We don't really have areas per se, but you have like your given place where you do your best there, and then everyone sweeps and you kind of swing round in like a motion. So everyone's effectively double covered where possible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How would you don't know where that person is to double cover them? Those kinds of shoots to me are very much like John picks up there and William picks up there and
no,
Benjamin only stands and they don't know to go round behind each other because they're so possessive of my patch.
I think we kind of work it on as well, who's got what dogs. If I rock up with one dog because one of my dogs is injured, you're not going to go and put me somewhere where there's going to be a hell of a lot of birds falling in really tricky positions. A dog's got to go across a field, through a wood, into the pen. There's a lot of work when you've got 4 dogs.
Yeah.
And you're going to make like work of it. It just doesn't make sense. So I think that's the same also with people though, because I have come across certain people just don't see birds. Yeah. They are much better at the front. They are much better where they are, I don't want to use the term just grass sweeping because it might be a wood or whatever, but they're doing that front section. And then you get others, and often they're people that shoot themselves. I find some of those people, we've got a couple of chaps on our picking up team that shoot. And so they can see a pricked bird from a mile off. Yeah. And they just know what they need to go after. And so there is little point in putting that person that is so good at marking right at the front all the time and putting the person that really struggles at the back. Yeah. So yes, that almost sounds like they stay in the same place, but they don't, because you'd move them around still within that. Yeah. But sometimes that person's not there and someone else is. I feel like the dynamic just is changing day on day. It changes every time we go out on a shoot day. Even if we shot today and then shot in 3 days' time and did exactly the same drives, it would switch. The team's different, who brings which dog is different, etc. Well, there's been days you've come out, you've like felt really poorly. You're like, I feel really like I've had to be here, but I feel rotten. So we're like, well, you go in the easiest, closest position and we'll do the walking. Like you just have to work it between you, don't you? But I think you also get that, and I don't know if you've ever been to those shoots, but I've been to some where you turn up and you don't feel welcome. Yeah. Because someone will say to you, where are you going? You'll say, well, I don't really know. I'm just waiting to like get my instructions. And they're like, well, I would like you to go. And you're kind of like, what, like 4 fields away from everybody else? Well, you can't go near there because that's such and such a spot. You can't go there because, and you suddenly find you're so far away, but it's almost because they don't want you anywhere near them. Yeah, and you think, well, I don't really understand why you're so possessive. Surely it's supposed to be a teamwork. It's not a competition. I don't care if you come back with 20 birds and I come back with 1 bird. And I will always say to you, if you're coming past where I've been or behind me, please sweep again. Yeah. You're running 4 or 5 dogs. Again, I've got 2. Your dogs, are going to cover more ground than mine do.
Oh, well, I had that today. We had a similar number of dogs, but I was coming down a bank and a chap was going up, and I just said to him, he said, "Oh, have you done there?" And I said, "Well, I've done that part of the rushes, but I haven't done the other part of the rushes." And I said, "But don't think I've done it all. Like, if you want to redo it, it's fine. Like, go over it, because I would never say it's done. But equally, if you're short on time, then I'd head to the far right rather than the far left side of it."
Yeah.
But again, it's that knowing, if you know where everyone stands and you've seen the drive from different perspectives, you know where to sweep.
Yeah.
But I do find
you've just got to support each other, and it's not oh God, like, you've come out with birds behind me, you know. But again, I'm running 2 dogs. Your 4 or 5 dogs will cover a lot more ground. You know, I do worry myself. I think, are they getting everywhere? Have they been in there? Because you just don't know, do you?
But you also forget those birds move around, so that bird might not have even been there when you were there.
Yeah.
And part of the moving around is you can be, say, in a pen, and I've had it, and there's a runner and it's run up the field and now it's through a pot hole and it's in that pen. The person in the pen's gone, "Oh, I didn't see anything come in here." Everyone's like, "Well, I didn't see anything go in there." And now there's a hen bird running through the pen.
Yeah.
Because they don't just sit where they land and stay still. And so knowing the ground and moving around and trying different places and being put in different places, I think is really valuable to creating a team effort. Because if you're always stood in that paddock and nobody's really very keen for you to be anywhere near them and leave the paddock, how do you know that everything's covered? If you've been in the paddock but also been by the pond, like you said that chap was, and you've been in the pen and you've been down at the front, you've now got an idea of where the general spread is, that you can offer a hand to somebody.
Oh yeah, 100%. Also, top tip, if you ever go for a day's picking up Celine's, do not be sad if you come back with 1 bird, because I tell you what, you'll be laughing watching everyone else with their 20 birds getting to the top of them hills. Because it is absolutely brutal.
It is brutal. But sometimes I find the 1 bird so much more valuable.
If you've gone back for that, really, you think, right, it was 2 fields to the left, hopefully in the hedge by that tree, you almost doubt yourself. You think, I'm never going to find it. I'm never going to find it. And then you do.
A cracker the other day. On a different shoot from ours, there's a place where everyone goes, "Oh, would you mind going to the top of the gorse?" And it's a really steep hill. You probably know the shoot. And it's quite a steep hill, and you walk all the way up there and you get there. And the chances, in reality, you may not see a bird there, or you may have 4 or 5, but you're never going to have, like, it's just not a 25 bird place.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I had one leg down hen bird, came flying straight from the guns, almost hit me in the head.
Oh, wow.
I've actually got it on film. And it came straight over me,
thing across that valley,
pitched into like the hedgerow behind me, and I sent the dog. And I just thought, do you know what? If I hadn't walked all the way to the top of that hill and I hadn't positioned myself up there, that bird would have gone. Because the dog got on it so quickly as it came into the hedgerow, its wings were fine. It would have just flown on, and nobody would ever have caught up with that. And to me, that's
far better than coming back with 20, 30 birds.
Yeah. That was a really valuable bird. And I will remember that bird.
Yeah.
That's one of those where when I walk past and I go towards the gorse, I'll be like, "Oh, I remember that bird."
It's fine. They got knocked out by a bird.
Our field notes and anecdotes, we have a joint one this time because Sarah and I have been shooting.
We have been. So we have been at Celine's shoot on her family day. She very kindly invited me to her family day. I mean, I'm basically family now. Basically. And we had a great day, didn't we?
It was really good.
We did it last year as well. So this is the second year doing it with you. And it's just a good laugh, to be honest.
It is a good crap. I think we're not like prissy about it. And I'm going to speak for myself, not you, but I can't shoot a barn door.
Neither can I. I don't go thinking I'm going to have a big bag.
I just kind of go thinking, oh my gosh, if I could hit one and my dog could retrieve it, I'd be absolutely winning at life. Yeah. I get so many comments on my videos, you're the wrong foot's forwards. You're too stiff. You're not swinging through. And I think, oh, do you know, I would love to have an actual proper lesson. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like most of the time I feel that I'm on peg and I'm not doing so well. It's probably because I'm not massively concentrating on the shooting. I'm thinking, oh my God, that would be a good retrieve.
Yeah, you are quite bad for that.
I am. Yeah. And
but
I'm really bad for like gazing at other people.
Both of us, we do quite a bit of rifle shooting. We don't do a lot of shotgun shooting.
No.
I would say 2, 3, maybe 4 times a year I pick my shotgun up.
I probably pick mine up twice a year.
So
Peter's Day and
in the
our day.
grand scheme of things, yes, we're not fantastic at it, but if we do well, we've done bloody well because we don't do a lot of it. And it's just, I used to do a lot more, but now rifles is more my thing. And I think same for you. You love the rifle shooting.
Shooting wise, I would rather shoot rifles. I feel like I'm just naturally more adept at it than shooting with a shotgun.
And you'd rather be working your dogs than shooting a shotgun.
I would, and I'm constantly looking at it thinking, oh.
Do you know what? Rich came with us last year, my other half, and he kept telling me off because I would shoot at something or see someone shoot, and then I'd watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it. He's like, look forward. Look. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm just watching. And he's like, yeah, but I'm picking up, not you. I'm like, yeah, but...
My husband's like that. He's like, reload, take another shot. I'm like, yeah, but...
Yeah. But
I I'm naturally thinking the same.
For the amount of times we shoot, I'm not miffed if we only shoot a couple of birds. It's, we don't go, oh, I've shot 30 today. We go for a good laugh. Have some fun.
Although there's always the one that got away, isn't there, Sarah? When we stand next to each other. Because we do like to stand next to each other. We pull a peg and we don't share it, but we basically position ourselves side by side.
We'd like conjoined twins.
Yeah.
We come as a package.
So that we can chat to each other, basically, and take mickey out of each other. And then a cracking bird comes over the trees on this drive.
It's a last drive as well.
Cracking bird, straight over. And it's that one where you go, oh my God, this is actually coming at me. Coming at me.
You know when you're looking at each other going, is my partner, like, is she going to or am I going to? Like, I don't want to steal her bird. Is she going to go for it? Am I going to go for it?
Straight up there. I 100% would have hit this. Swinging through, I could feel the whole thing. You know when you just know.
Yeah.
And then
I was watching you. I thought she's got it.
I braced. And then I jolt. And I'm like... oh my God, my safety's off. And then I'm trying to get the safety off and then it's too late. And then I look sideways and Sarah's like, oh my God, her safety was on. Hilarious. So she's there. She's up. She's following it through. I
thought I've had you here. I've had you a cropper, I thought.
What happened, Sarah?
I thought I'm going to drop that bird straight on her head.
Yeah.
What happened was I also had my safety on. So neither of it was such a good bird.
It's not even funny.
It was a plumbing good bird.
But no one can accuse us of being unsafe shots.
No. And also, I'd like to say thank God no one else was around us because we were the only two stood out there.
We were, to be fair.
So nobody saw it. Otherwise, it was such a good bird.
I know.
But yes, we are safe. Health and safety first. On to our myth busting and shoot it straight. Our topic this week is having a litter of puppies will make your dog grow up. What are your thoughts, Celine? You are the dog guru, so I feel like this is a you question.
I feel like yes and no.
I agree with you on that one.
I feel like I don't agree with people that say I want to have a litter because I feel my dog should have a litter, or I want to have a litter because I feel it will help my dog grow up.
No.
That is not a reason for having a litter. I can't get on board with that.
No.
However, I would say that I do think that in some instances it can help a dog mature, but equally I feel like it can give them some really bad habits. So it's not necessarily a good thing. If you've got a bitch, then generally they become a bit more of a poo eater. Yes, they might have matured and become a little bit more sensible, but now they've got another terrible trait because they're used to picking up puppy poop and eating it. And I feel that some dogs, it makes no difference to you whatsoever. And I like having a litter of puppies. I don't feel like it makes a difference in their maturity.
Yeah.
But I find that myth is more spouted by people that say, well, I feel like I really must have a litter out of Trixie Belle because it will really help her grow up. And
I think it's the same as spaying a bitch, though. Some people say, oh, I'm going to spay her to calm her down.
Yeah.
Wow. How's my red Labrador after being spayed, Celine?
Oh, she's really calm.
Yeah.
Practically horizontal, Sarah.
She's just as nutty as she was before.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on the dog, on the breeding, on the... Yes, it can, but I wouldn't be doing it.
No, but I don't feel like it's necessarily the litter that's doing it anyway, because also if you're out shooting, let's say you've got... generally you'd have a litter, somewhere between 2 and 4 years old.
Yeah.
Most people probably have a litter around year 3. Mm-hmm. So you've got a dog, they are 2-ish, they're just starting to go out into the shooting field. At 3, they will have got a proper season under their belt. They now have a litter. Well, at 4, they're going to be considerably more mature anyway, because they've had an entire 6, 7, 8 months off before they're going back into the field.
Yeah.
And they're that whole year older, and they've now got miles under their belt.
Yeah.
And they look back and they say, oh, well, she had a litter, so she's really matured. And I think, well, yeah, my dog's massively matured between years 2 and 4 or 3 and 4. They didn't need to have a litter. They just grew up.
Yeah.
Because that's a long time in dog years.
Yeah, it's a hell of a long time.
But for me, it's more, it grinds my bones when someone says, oh, I must have a litter. Because
no, it's not. I mean, we could rant all day about this. Well, we know how stressful it is having a litter, don't we, Celine?
I may have a bit of a stress head on when I have a litter. I generally tend to panic.
I'm the same though. I am the same, because it's, for us though, it's your pride and joy, it's your bitch that you've worked so hard on.
I also don't want to lose a puppy.
And you don't want to lose a puppy. So we do work, and I sometimes say it is not worth the stress. We've both said it every time we have a litter.
Well, every time I have a litter, I'm not doing this again.
It's not. It's awful. You lose sleep. It's stressful. You can't. Life stops, doesn't it, when you have a litter?
Oh, yeah.
You can't do anything else.
My last one, I think, did I have a puppy, didn't I? And I was like, oh my God, it's lost 10 grams. And you were like, right, okay, maybe it's had a poo. And I was like, no, I think it's going to die.
Celine was literally on the phone to me.
And then the next day I was like, it's sleeping more than the others.
5-6 times a day. Panicking.
Definitely sleeping more than the others. Do you know what? I poked it and it did not leap up. So I was like, well, maybe it was tired. No, it's definitely going to die.
You were quite bad.
And then the next day I was like, this one's going to die now.
I feel like you were better with the last litter. You were a lot better with the last litter. Maybe it's because somebody else whelped them for you. That might have been.
I don't know. I do panic. It is a lot of stress. Maybe one just feels their dog's matured because they've just calmed down a lot, because they've had to kind of just go with the flow. Yeah. Like when you get these people and they've had like 7 children. By the time they've had 7 children, they're just going with life. Maybe when you have a litter of puppies, the human matures.
I've calmed down since having a child. I'm done. I'm knackered. I'm dead. Honestly, I'm just tired permanently.
This is another advert for not having children, kids.
Oh yeah, people. We should do this in every episode.
Yeah, we should do this.
Yeah,
don't have children, just get dogs.
So yeah, I don't think it's a good enough reason. It's not a reason to have puppies.
No, it's not a good reason to have a litter, but it can potentially, in some dogs, calm them down a bit. But I think actually 90% of it is.
And I would just like to say, if you're not going to have a litter, please get your bitch spayed and don't do a Sarah and put it off until they end up having a pio, and then you end up having a spay on a Sunday evening at £1,700. Get your dog spayed. It's a lot cheaper during the daytime.
Yes, that's not good, is it?
No.
I think, what did I pay? $4.50 a dog. I had 2 done together this year. And it was
you had 2, which cost less than my one.
£900 for 2.
Yeah, mine cost $1,700. Sunday evening, emergency surgery.
You know, better just book them in.
They put a bit of idiot tax on for me. Slap another 20% on for that muppet.
Confessions and questions. I have a question for us. I am new to shooting and worried about the etiquette. What is the biggest faux pas you've seen someone make?
I think you can't really go wrong when we're out.
No, to be fair, we're quite relaxed. Do you want some time to think? Because I can think of one.
Go on. You kick it off.
So it wasn't a massive faux pas, to be fair, but it made me chuckle a bit. There was a chap and he was a clay shooter, and I went out with him. A few of us were going out. I think we were it wasn't a single peg day, but some of us knew each other, and then everyone sort of brought a friend. It was one of those kind of things. And this chap turned up, and we were going around in our own cars. And I said to him, do you want to just jump in with me? And he'd come along with a friend. He said, that would be brilliant. Anyway, jumped in the car, and someone looked at me and went, give him some tips, will you? I was like, oh, okay. So he got in the car and he said, I'm quite new to shooting. I was like, I'd noticed. He went, how could you tell? I was like, well, because you're wearing jeans. and he went, not good. I was like, no, not good. And the white bobble hat also is not a great look. He went, should I bin that now? I was like, I'd put that in the back of the car. He went, okay, what else do I need to know? I went, you carry gun slip upside down. He was like, right. Because I don't know why, but I've seen lots of clay shooters hold their gun slip upside down. Maybe because they don't walk around so much. But surely you have the barrel end down because the zip bit wants to be up, because if the zip fails, then you've just planted your gun on the floor. He carried it upside down. Really random.
Different.
So I gave him some few tips during the day, but he was very much like, and he just looked at me and he said, because we were in the car together, he said, "Oh, I'm so glad that like I've got in your car," because he said, "I feel like other people were kind of skirting around him in a polite way, but didn't want to kind of smack him between the eyes with it. Whereas I did make it slightly humorous, and we did talk about it and go through it. But he said, you need someone to tell you," and I wasn't like, there was no element of unkindness.
If you've never done it before, though, you don't know, do you?
No. There are some books out there, though. There's a couple of books about shooting etiquette, which are really good.
Yeah.
But I think it just made me laugh. I was just like, yeah, the jeans. And then he went, I was like, I ditched the bobble hat.
Yeah, bright white
was
bobble
like
hat.
Properly white bobble hat as well.
You should let him keep it. It wouldn't have been white by the end of the day. Would have been more brown.
Have you got any that you can think of that would be your faux pas?
I can't think of any in the field, but I get it in the range.
Oh, yeah?
Did you do the shooting range?
Yeah.
So not out in the field. So obviously I work in a gun range, and is it one of those, or is it just it really irritates Sarah? I'm not sure. So I think if you're going range shooting, there's no dress code as such.
Yeah.
Just go in what's comfortable, dress for the winter if it's cold. But we get a few individuals that turn up in full army uniform.
Like they're going to play paintball.
Yes. I once had a guy that came for a have-a-go session. So he wasn't even a gun owner. He came to shoot for the day and have a tester. And he came in a full army uniform with a beret on and everything. Like he was reporting for duty.
Oh, wow.
He turned up and my first thought was, why is this guy in fancy dress?
Oh.
And I looked at him through the glass.
He's probably just really excited.
I know.
You are unkind, Sarah.
And I'm
keeping this in. This says a lot about you.
It's all a bit much.
I quite like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Why not get in the zone? You're in it, aren't you? Embody the character, Sarah.
No.
I've got a couple more that I would say from shooting etiquette in terms of game shooting, and I would say one big faux pas is not tipping enough. Yes. I just think you just need to know what you should tip, because if you've gone out and you've done a day that's cost you £1,000, tipping 20 quid is just harsh. And dogs. I would say there's quite a lot of faux pas with dogs. I feel if you're shooting, always take something that you can tether your dog with. Because if you don't know if your dog is going to sit on peg and you've decided to take a dog with you on peg, from a safety point of view, from a point of view of not ruining the drive for everybody else, bearing in mind you are only going to be one of, say, 9 people, just consider that your dog can cover some ground pretty quickly while you're shooting behind you if it's decided to do a bunker beating line. Yeah. And it has happened and it will happen. And don't get me wrong, nobody and no dog is infallible, so it's not a judgmental thing, but I just think one should go prepared for
it's
those
worse
kind of
when
occasions.
You're shooting as well, because your mind is totally off the dog you're shooting,
and the dog knows it.
Yeah,
and they're 100%. Kind of, especially like my dogs, 100% know if I'm not keeping half an eye on them.
Have you ever seen me bring my dogs while I'm shooting?
No, no. You've seen me take my dogs while I was shooting, and when I hit the bird, they all buggered off.
I know. They brought it back though.
They did bring it back. Yes,
actually, that was quite a good one.
But granted, that was our day, and I did start. Go on, you can. Tell
I've got to say it.
It's terrible.
So Celine put a message out like, "Hi guys, looking forward to shoot day. Just a few things like meet here." Da 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 da.
This was Beta's day. Can I just add?
Yeah,
the pickers up were double banked, so we were at the back. Yeah.
And she said, also, if you're bringing a dog with you to shoot on peg, can I just ask that you keep them on leads? Like, obviously, they do get a bit overexcited. They know you're not watching them so much. Safety things. And anyway, so we get to the first drive and I'm shooting next to Celine. There's Celine with her dogs. She shoots a bird and all the dogs run off. And I was that was me straight on I didn't know really. I was shouting. I was like, can we please keep our dogs on the lead?
I 100% put that on YouTube because
you did.
You know, it's got to be done. It was comical. It was very funny. But I hit the bird though, so that was also exciting. What did I say? If I can hit a bird on a shoot day and my dog can retrieve it, then I'm happy. I'd like a tiny bit more control between the shooting and the retrieving.
You didn't specify that though originally, did you?
No, that's true.
Bird shot, retrieved.
Job done.
By 4 dogs.
Home. Drive one.
Job done. So I have a funny story from someone that has written in. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Buckle up. This is from Simon.
Not my husband, hopefully. That would be awkward.
No, not your husband. I hope not.
Not about me.
Well, no. Many years ago, I jumped in the keeper's truck with a couple of others. We drove down a little lane to push some partridge forward over a piece of ground called rabbit ground. As we turned off the lane into rabbit ground, we were all shocked to see a car parked there and a chap with his trousers down and a very peachy bum hanging out of the passenger door. We casually drove around the farm before laughing our heads off. Funny thing was, when we came back through, we found a large sex toy, which was even funnier as we just pushed the bit of ground pushed in was called rabbit ground.
Oh, wow.
And honestly, this is a true story.
He'd been jumping up and down on it, had he? Yeah. God, that's really weird. What some people are so... What, just in a random shoot?
Yeah, so he was parked up like somewhere on the ground. So I guess he could have been
Why didn't he take his toy with him?
But he said a chap with his trousers down and a very peachy bum hanging out of the passenger door. So hang on. So was there somebody else there?
Where did the
chap had his trousers down?
Yeah, but why did the sex toy stay? Oh, it was a toy. I was thinking of a doll. I just thought there was a doll there. Wow, I've taken this to another level.
Whoa.
I was thinking he just left a doll stood
like a
there.
blow-up doll?
Yeah, like he'd been...
Oh, wow, you went from 0 to 100 there,
God,
didn't you?
I did.
Jesus, you've got a dark brain. No, just a sex toy.
I think I've made this worse.
Well, you have. Hang on, backtrack. Sex toy, and the ground was called rabbit ground.
Oh, I see.
God.
I was thinking he was going at it like rabbits on a doll by the side of his car, and then he drove off and left the doll just sort of stood in the woods like that. Ah.
Do that again? Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Celine hasn't even had her glass of wine that she was going to have. She's just overtired, and this is what happens. Poor Simon wrote in a slightly funny...
Hang on, that was definitely not my husband. I just want to clarify.
No. Slightly cheeky story, and you have just thrown it really badly under the bus there and made it worse.
Yeah.
No sex doll. No one on the side of the road.
No. Okay.
Just a man, trousers down.
It's quite normal then,
sex
really,
toy.
to be fair.
Good God.
I don't feel like that's a good enough story. Simon, you need to up your game.
Sorry, yeah, Celine's not impressed with...
Come on, people. Up your game.
Maybe you should write in. Christ.
Oh, I've got some good stories, don't you worry.
That was a good one.
They're trickling in. It wasn't that good. Try and send us some better stories, please.
Keep
Barrels
sending
and
them.
Banter @gmail.com.
I still don't think anyone's beat our Welshman yet.
No, that was good.
And that was in our first episode. We went in strong with that.
We did go in strong with that.
I feel like you all need to try and beat him.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like the voice note made it.
It definitely did.
So I feel like we do have social media on Facebook.
Yeah.
Barrels and Banter.
Send us a voice note.
Your eyes peeled. You must be on the right Barrels and Banter page. That is the same logo as our podcast. And you need to make sure you're on exactly the right one. And then they could voice notice on Messenger.
I'm not discriminating here on people's accents, but especially if you're Welsh, if you're a Geordie, if you're a Scouse, Scottish.
Irish. Oh, but yokel. I love it. Somerset.
Yokel?
Like yokel local.
I've never heard of that. And I'm from Somerset.
Basically, if you've got a strong accent and you're not a yuppie, then crack on.
We want to hear. Come on, write in. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review because I think we're worth 5 stars. I think we're pretty awesome.
I do too. Thank you very much.